Yo guys, so you already know that today we are back doing another ranking of Pokemon. Today we are doing Generation 4, a generation of Pokemon that I always felt got a little overrated. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of trash in this generation but a lot of amazing stuff. I don't really have the same sort of nostalgic value for Diamond and Pearl as I do other generations of Pokemon. This is the time in my life where I sort of fell off playing Pokemon. I played through Diamond like once. Then decided that I was too cool for Pokemon and then just stopped playing, and then Black and White came out and I changed my tune on that. So I don't have the same nostalgic value, and I think that probably plays into why some of these Pokemon are not my favorite. However, there are some that have grown on me over the years, and some that were always cool to begin with. So I think this is going to be one that probably is heavily weighted more in like the S and A tier, and then like the D tier. I think there's going to be probably less B's and C's than in other videos. I'm keeping the same tiers. These are the same 5 tiers that I've used for all of my other generations. I've started at Generation 9 and I'm working my way backwards. So that is what we're doing. This is just my opinions on how much I like the Pokemon, generally based on their design and their vibe and maybe any special memories I have with them. Not really based on how good they are in any way, shape, or form. So in an effort to not drag this video on for way too long, let's go ahead and jump into it. Y'all know how tier lists work. We're just going to start with the first ones and make our way down the line. I think this whole line is probably like an A tier. I think Torterra, my favorite out of those. Grottle doesn't really. Nah. That's sort of a downgrade. No, I might even put it in C. Maybe I'm just feeling a little too harsh today. But like, I feel like Grottle doesn't do anything for me. Like Torterra has like the coolness factor. Starweek's pretty cute. But Grottle's just kind of neither. It's on its way there. I mean, a lot of middle evolutions have that. Same thing with the Chimchar line. I think Chimchar, I was never huge on Chimchar. I think at this point I would probably say B, but I'm not confident in that. I don't know, I'm just trying to look at it. It's just like, yeah, it's not like super cute in my opinion, but you know, it's fine. Nah, I'm gonna put it at the top of C tier. I'm going to put it top of C tier, and then Monferno is actually a downgrade. I actually don't really like Monferno very much. A lot of it has to do with its giant blue, like a unibrow, and then the fact that it just doesn't really have anything else that makes it stand out. The only reason that this line is any good at all is because Infernape is amazing, fantastic. People can complain about the firefighting all they want. Fire Monkey is sick. I mean, the flame trail, like for like the hair and whatnot, is so sick. Just like the effects on it just makes it look so amazing. So these two are just working their way up to Infernape, but once you get to Infernape, I mean, it is just fantastic. This line of Pokemon has always been kind of weird for me. I would say Piplup is kind of in the same tier as Turtwig for me in terms of like cuteness and whatnot. Prinplup is kind of like stupid in a lot of ways. I think it's on the cusp of being D tier, but I'm gonna put it at the bottom of C tier because I don't have any reason to outright dislike it. But I don't really like its name, which I don't generally detract from Pokemon, but I was like, it just doesn't have the same, you know, like Piplup and then like Prinplup. It's like, I don't know, it just doesn't roll off the tongue the same way. I mean, and then Empoleon is like a fire name. And maybe controversial opinion, I feel like Empoleon is some people's like all-time favorites, but I don't know, I just like it. I think Empoleon's neat. But I don't think it's like incredible in any way. I guess penguins are cool. Maybe if I had a stronger attachment, maybe that would be something. But I don't know. I've always felt the starters here are like pretty good. There's like one stage that's like really worth it from all of them, like, you know, Infernape, Torterra, and Turtwig, and then between Piplup and Empoleon, like they're all like in the upper tiers. So, you know, the starters of this generation not too bad. I don't think any of the middle evolutions are anything to write home about though. Speaking of middle evolutions, I don't know, this one has one. That's the only way I can segue, I guess. We'll put Starly. I mean, this one's kind of weird. Like, I guess I'd put Starly and Staravia in like B tier, just because they're birds and there's nothing bad about them, and there's no downsides to having them because then you get the upsides of getting a Staraptor, which like is also just one of my favorite Pokemon. I'm actually considering. So I have been ranking Pokemon within tiers, which I would continue to do, and I'm really deciding. I was like, do I like Staraptor more or do I like Infernape more? I think at this point I probably like Staraptor just a little bit more, but I think they're very close. I don't think either of them are going to stay at the top of this list, so it doesn't really matter too much at the end of the day. Because that's just what that is. I mean, I guess you could make an argument for Bidoof being, like, funny, but, like, I've never really cared for Bidoof or Bibarel. They're just there. They're whatever. They're good to teach all your HMs to in-game, and that's about it. If you really like Beavers, I guess, you got that going for you, but there's basically no reason to use it. That's kind of like a lot of these Pokemon. There's, like, especially in-game, there's so little reason to use so many of these Pokemon. Just like Kricketot, like, who cares? You know, Kricketot is kind of dumb. Kricketune at least is like a funny meme. The giant mustache, the whoop, you know, all that sort of stuff. You know, I can see an argument for anything up here. I'm just gonna try and see what feels right. See what feels right. Do I like it more than Empoleon? Yeah, I'm just gonna put it in B tier. Like, it's a funny meme, but outside of that, it's like not a good Pokemon in any way. So I don't find myself using it very often. What I do find myself using often. I don't know what to do with the lower ones. Luxray is definitely going to S. I think Luxray is also just going above Staraptor. I think I like Luxray more than those two. We'll just put Shinx and Luxio in the sort of like middle A tier here. I think that's like a solid spot. Because again, there's like no downsides to having them. There's nothing negative about their designs. They're just not Luxray. And so by comparison, it's hard to put them in the same tier. I just don't like them as much. But they're there. Bidoof is just a nothing for me. I mean, who cares? Just a little green seed thing, like whatever. Roserade. Roserade is on that tier between A and S. I think I'm gonna put it A, slightly above Torterra. I think I would put them basically next to each other. Like if I did this exact same tier list tomorrow, I might flip these two. They're like, that's how close they are to me. But I think right now I'm just vibing with Roserade just slightly more. Yeah. That's that. Cranidos is sort of working on growing into its full form, so it's not fully there, but I do like it. I'm going to put it probably at the bottom of B tier. Rampardos is actually one of my favorite Pokemon. This is going in S tier. Rampardos is actually based off of my favorite dinosaur. And, you know, as many a kid, I was big into dinosaurs as a kid. So, you know, it's it holds a special place in my heart, being based off of my favorite dinosaur that I actually can't remember the name of because it's super long and hard to remember and pronounce or whatever. But that's why I love Rampardos. I wish it was better, but I mean, it's still good enough. It's very strong. And it looks cool. It could probably look cooler, but I don't know. I still hold a special connection to it. But I think it's going to be the bottom of S tier. Just because it's mostly there. Because I like what it's based on more than it itself. But I still like Rampardos a lot. Shieldon. Ooh, Shieldon. Shieldon's pretty clean, you know? Pretty clean, I would say. I'm not sure if I want to put it away in A tier or not. Or not. You know what? I will. Yeah, I'll put that in A tier. Bastiodon's also gonna be in A tier, but just a little bit higher. Maybe like up on this end of it. This will be like small, medium, large. that's how I'm ordering the A tier, I guess. I didn't mean it like that. That's just how it's happening. So yeah. I don't think there's anything to explain. There's a giant shield on the face. Very cool. There's nothing more I need to say. I don't think I'm gonna split up the different Burmy into different tiers. They're all just kind of nothing to me. Do I dislike them? I guess not. I don't know. Burmy is kind of like trash though. Like what is the reason for Burmy existing? Yeah, it's gonna go to the top of D tier. Let's just fill D tier with Burmy and Wormadam. I'm gonna put Wormadam below Burmy because like Burmy has an excuse for why it's weak because it's like, you know, the first stage. What's Wormadam's excuse? You evolved and you still suck? Like what are you doing? Mothim I have no qualms with though. Kind of a forgettable Pokemon though, so I'm just gonna put it top of C. Combee is also just kind of whatever for me. I think I probably like Kricketot a little bit more. And also because when I think of Combee, I just think of like how hard it is. Like, you know, male Combee does nothing for you, and finding a female one is not the easiest. So There's also kind of that. And outside of that, it doesn't really do anything. Vespiquen, though, is pretty cool. I feel similarly to Vespiquen as I do about Empoleon. I think they're around the same for me. Again, like on a different day, I might flip these two, but I think this is how I feel today. Pachirisu, like, this is what I talk about when I'm talking about, like, Gen 4. I'm like, man, there's just so many, like, whatever Pokemon. Pachirisu is kind of just like Mothim. It's like, I don't have any issues with it, but, like, it's just there. Like, why am I using it? Like, Luxray is right there. Like, in what situation am I using Pachirisu over that? Spoiler alert, there is no reason. Especially since there's not really any other electric types that you can get. That I remember. There might be one. And, again, in-game, I don't really remember how feasible it is. I think Magnemite is more easy to get in Platinum, but I don't remember about Diamond and Pearl. And same thing with Electivire. I don't remember how easy it is to get one of those in your playthrough. Let's see, Buizel, Floatzel. I feel like once upon a time I probably would have put them a little bit higher. I think I'm still putting them in B tier. I think I'm just gonna put them next to each other. I used Floatzel a little bit in my Pokemon Scarlet. Pokemon Violet. There we go. I was like, wait, what's the one I actually played? Yeah, I used Floatzel for a little bit, and it's good, but I don't know. It isn't my favorite, but I don't dislike it. So it can be B. Cherubi and Cherrim are absolute nothing Pokemon. I don't know. I feel like I kind of like Cherrim. I guess I'll put Cherrim at like the top of C. Because like there's a part of me that like wants to like it, but it hasn't really done anything for me to like it. And then especially when comparisons, like you get the option of like a Torterra or like a Roserade. Like you have options for other grass types that aren't, Cherrim. If it was like the only one, then like maybe it would shine more, but even then I'm not entirely sure. Cherubi can go like here, I guess. Sure. Shellos, and Gastrodon. Okay, well the colors make a big difference for me. I don't really like the pink Shellos all that much. It's mostly less about the color and more about the hair, like whatever you would call it. It can just go like here. Gastrodon is still Gastrodon, and I think the extra brown helps it a little bit. So I think that one's gonna go in B tier. I think I'd still probably use this over Floatzel. And then you have the blue and green, which, I mean, green is one of my favorite colors. Blue is also a high tier color. And I think they work well together. The hair thing, like the little ears, I think they work better than whatever that is. So this is automatically an upgrade. Just like right over. And then I think this Gastrodon is going to go in the A tier. Yeah, I probably like it more than Piplup. Yeah, somewhere around there. I like Gastrodon. I really like the blue and green Gastrodon as well. I don't remember which one's like East Coast, West Coast. I'm not going to say the wrong thing and be wrong. So, it is what it is. Ambipom, I feel like once upon a time, Ambipom was starting to climb the ranks as a Pokemon that I kind of was starting to like. But at this point, I feel like it doesn't really do anything for me. I'm just going to kind of put it in this area of just like, it's not offensive. Apom was a really bad nothing Pokemon, and Ambipom definitely improved that. So it's at least usable now, but it's nothing I'm going to go out of my way for. Drifloon. I don't know. I guess Drifloon's biggest claim to fame is that it kidnaps kids or something. So, I guess that's a positive for it. I don't know why. There doesn't need to be any correlation drawn between that. Nah, Drifloon's probably better, like up here. Drifblim. I don't think it gets like better. I don't think it gets worse. I'll just like put them next to each other. I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't have anything strong to say about that. Baneri, Lopunny have always been Pokemon that I've never really cared that much for. It is very strange to just make sexy rabbit Pokemon. Not really what I'm here for. So I guess, I don't know. The meme can be kind of funny, but I'm just gonna put both of them in D tier because like, why? Like, why are you using them? I don't know. There's actually not that many good like normal types, huh? I don't know. We'll see. Miss Magius. I almost said Mischievous. I was like, that's the wrong one. Magius is pretty cool. I think it's gonna be top of B tier. I really like it. It's like teetering on that A tier. It's a good Pokemon. Honchkrow is also a good Pokemon. I don't like it as much as some people do. I think it's another one that's just going to end up in the B tier. Maybe like right there. I just think it's a good Pokemon. You know, it's got a cool hat. Everybody loves cool hats. I know I do. So, yeah, there's that. Glameow. I guess Glameow on its own is not, like, offensive, but I also just don't really like it that much. Yeah, I don't really like it. It is better than Lopunny, but barely. But Pure Ugly is just pure ugly. It's, you know, pretty bad. I really don't like it. It's probably my least favorite of everything that I've seen here today. And it might stay that way. I'm not going to guarantee that, though. Oh, gosh. Chingling? Who cares about Chingling, dude? Sure, whatever. It can go there. Like, that's what I mean when I said, like, there's so many just, like, whatever Gen 4 Pokemon. I think we're getting to some better ones, though, later on. Especially when you talk about ones that are, like, accessible and easy to get in-game. That's, like, that's where I draw, like, the biggest line of just, like, man, there's not a lot to choose from. I'm sure you can sort of guess what a lot of my teams consist of. Stunky. I feel like I used to hate Stunky just because the idea of just playing on, like, Skunk and, like, poison gas and stuff like that is, like, kind of gross, but that's just kind of nature, and the actual design of it is perfectly fine. So I think Stunky is probably... I would put it... I think I'm gonna put it at the very bottom of B. And I'll just put Skuntank right next to it. I don't feel like one is massively better than the other. Yeah, once upon a time, I definitely would have included these probably in D tier, but I don't know. I've sort of gotten over myself, and it's not that big of a deal for them to be poison skunks. I think it's pretty cool, especially with the dark typing. It's neat. Bronzor. This is where it's just like I need to make the distinction between B and C tier. Bronzor is sort of nothing. Bronzong is slightly better, but not like incredible. That's mostly because Bronzong isn't like that good. You know, like it's not like running through opponents or anything like that. It's just kind of weak. So I don't know. Never really cared that much, but I mean, I do like it. I do like it. I'm just trying to justify like why it's better than Bronzong or Bronzor, and then that's fine there. It's fine there. Bonsai is probably just going in C tier somewhere. I don't really care about Bonsai. The funniest thing that it has going for it is its Cry, which I feel like I remember more in Super Smash Bros. Than anything in the actual Pokemon game. It can go around that area. Why not? Mime Jr. isn't. It isn't one that I hate in theory, but I don't really like how it looks. So I'm gonna put it in D tier. Happiny, same thing. I just don't really like how it looks. So yeah, probably like there. I don't know. Happiny just looks kind of stupid. Maybe that's just me. Chatot is one of those, like, it's a solid B tier. You know, probably like next to Bronzong. Like, it's cool. I'm probably not gonna use it all that much, but I like the idea of it. I think Chatot was the one that way back in the day you could, like, you know, get it to say stuff that you could, like, use your Nintendo DS mic thing for, which is really funny and hilarious. So, but without the gimmick, it would be a C tier. But with the gimmick, and it is good design. I like the colors on it and whatnot. So it does have that. Spiritomb looks sick. I do like Spiritomb a good bit. Ghost Dark is always fun. I think I would put it like right up here in the A tier. I just think it's a very, very cool Pokemon. Let's see. Gible, Gabite, and Garchomp. Gible, you know, it's kind of just short and chunky. I guess I could see why people like it. I don't really care for Gible itself. The only reason that Gible is fine is because of what it turns into. I think Gabite looks really cool. And in terms of middle evolutions, it's probably one of the better ones. I think it's actually going to skip B tier and go up to A tier. This, I think right here feels about right. And then Garchomp, it just sort of fully forms into itself. You know, Garchomp's going in S tier. I was like, I feel like I've never been as much on the hype train for Garchomp, but as I look at it and as I compare it to things around it, And as I'm just like, well, what more do I want out of it? Like, what would I have to do to make it S tier? And I was like, I think it already is. And then I just looked at Rampardos, and I was like, I think I like Garchomp more than Rampardos. I do like my dragon types. I do like purple. Garchomp does do a lot of things right. Until it gets to Mega Garchomp, but that's a different story. Munchlax. Munchlax is fine, but I'm still just gonna put it in the C tier. It can be top of C tier though, or like pretty close to top of C tier. Doesn't do anything inoffensive, but it just exists. It just exists. Riolu. Riolu's cool. I'm just gonna put it in the B tier, sort of like in the middle here. Lucario is really cool. I think Lucario will go again, kind of S tier. I've never been. Why is Lucario so much smaller than everything around it? Yeah, I don't know. I like Lucario. I think it almost seems like overhyped just because of like how central it is to so many Pokemon games. But it's hard to deny that it's a very cool Pokemon. The steel fighting, Mega Lucario, all the different games that you have access to a Lucario, and it's very, very good whenever you do get to use it. So yeah, there's just really no downsides. It's just not in the conversation of like favorite Pokemon of all time. But that, I mean, not every Pokemon has to be. Hippopotas is a fun word to say. I think this is going probably like bottom of B tier, but I think the biggest boon of Hippopotas's existence is Hippowdon. I think Hippowdon is really, really cool. I think I would put it probably like high up in A tier, definitely above Bastiodon. I think somewhere around here makes sense. I love this little sprite with like the sand like coming out of it. You know, it's coarse and it's getting everywhere. The red eyes. Hippos are terrifying. I'm like, thankfully they're not an animal that I come across in real life, but if they were, like I would have a way bigger phobia of them. Like they freak me out. But in terms of how it was translated to a Pokemon game, I think it was done really nicely. So yeah, I like Hippowdon. Let's see, Scorpy. I think Scorpy's a neat little dude. I think Scorpy's actually a really neat little dude. I love the blue eyes. I think Scorpions are inherently pretty cool. Again, probably not one that I really want to be messing with in real life, but I think it works here. Yeah, I think Scorpy is fine there, and then Drapion a little bit higher. Maybe right around this area. I think Drapion's really cool. You know, purple, poison dark, Scorpion. Got a lot of things going for it. Very sick. Krogunk. I think Krogunk and Toxicroak are probably just going next to each other in the B tier somewhere. I don't have anything against either of them. And I found that I generally like fighting types. It's kind of hard to do fighting types wrong, except for Monferno, I guess. But fighting types are just generally inherently cool. And the more ideas that you sort of mix, like a steel fighting or like a poison fighting, just the more that you mix things with fighting types, I think the more interesting they become. So yeah, they have that. Like I'm just kind of going off of memory. It's like I feel like I remember using Toxicroak and it just being like fun to use. So I have that. So yeah, why not? Carnivine. Who cares about Carnivine? Probably not many people. Yeah, which grass type do I like more, Carnivine or Charity? That's a question that's going to keep me up at night for sure. Finneon, Lumineon. Finneon is kind of nothing. It's just whatever. But it's not offensive. It's just a fish. Lumineon is also just a fish. It is kind of pretty, you know, with the little like frills and whatnot. My biggest memory of Lumineon is actually probably now from new Pokemon Snap. I think it looked really nice in there. I'm trying to think, like, is there enough to justify going into B tier? Or yeah, no, it does. We'll put it like right up there. We'll just see. All right, I still have enough room. Not everything's cut off yet. I think things will start to get cut off. That's okay. What do we have next? We have Mantike. Mantike is a Pokemon that did not need to exist. Mantine is not like amazing, you know. So yeah, I guess I could have made that same argument for Mime Jr. because it's not like Mr. Mime evolves into anything, or like didn't at the time that this was made. Mantine still doesn't evolve into anything. So, I don't know, Mantyke just doesn't really have a reason to exist, but I'll just put it in C tier. I don't know, right around there. Sure, why not? Alright, now we're gonna start cutting off the S tier as I scroll down. Snover is cool. And grassy. It's two typings. Grass and ice. How about that? I would put it maybe like here. And then Abomasnow is definitely way cooler. It definitely belongs in the A tier. Probably around the Drapion range. I feel like Abomasnow just slightly more. I think that's a good spot for it. I mean, it just looks cool. Abominable Snowman. Very cool. Not entirely sure why it maintains the grass typing there. There's probably something that I'm missing out on. But, you know, it's neat. It's neat. You know what else is neat? Weavile. Weavile is not going in the A tier. It's going to the top of S tier. I love Weavile so much. I think Sneasel is also a really cool Pokemon, and the fact that it just evolves and becomes even cooler, even better. I mean, it's fast. It hits hard. It's, you know, everything that you want. Dark typing is inherently cool. Ice typing is something that I always, you know, feel can lend itself to really cool stuff, and I just like it a lot. It's very simple, very straightforward, very cool. It's hard to dislike. Weavile is up there. I mean, I don't know. I guess when you just see these three back to back, it's like I have a type. You know. Magnezone is one that I feel like has taken time to grow on me, but I do think that it has, and I think that it would probably go in the A tier. Probably, you know, probably above Abomasnow, actually. I think right around that range is fine. Yeah, Magnezone I think is pretty cool. Actually, I don't think I was like, is it my favorite from that line? I don't know, but it is A tier comfortably. So I'm fine with that. Licky Licky is one of those. It has a hilarious name. It's always getting full Wi-Fi. It's a really stupid design, and I kind of teeter on, is it so stupid that I hate it, or is it so stupid that it's funny? And I kind of lean more in the direction that it's so stupid that it's funny, but not so funny that it's like A tier. Especially because it doesn't like show up that much, and I think that's the big thing. I feel like if this was like around all the time and like overplayed, I would get so annoyed of it. But just seeing that they made an evolution to Licky Tongue and just made it even more ridiculous, I think helps. Because I don't really like Licky Tongue that much, and I think Licky Licky is just like, we're just gonna lean into the joke even more. So I'm just gonna keep it at bottom of B tier though. I don't think it deserves to go any higher. Rhyperior is another one that probably took some time to grow on me. I also don't know if this is my favorite of that evolution line, but this is another one that's also going to end up in A tier as I decide where it goes. Should it just go right next to Magnezone? I think it might. Yeah, I think that works. Wow. Tangrowth. I won't spoil how it relates to its pre-evolution, but I do think Tangrowth is another solid A tier. They really kind of killed it with the evolutions to previous Pokemon. I definitely like Tangrowth more than, I'm gonna put Tangrowth like up here. I think Tangrowth is pretty cool. I like it a lot. Let's see, Electivire. I mean, there's really not much to say. Electivire is just incredible. Electivire is S tier. Electivire. I mean, Electabuzz is already an incredible Pokemon, and they made it even better. So, I didn't know about these evolutions when I first played Diamond and Pearl, because I don't think they existed. I don't remember exactly the timeline of events there. So I didn't find out about all these evolutions until like way down the line. And then my first time seeing almost all of them, I was like, oh, this is worse, just because I was like so held to like my nostalgic feelings as to what their pre-evolutions looked like. Electivire, I think, is the only one that off the jump I was just like, nah, this is an improvement, this is way better. I'm still sort of deciding if it goes higher than this, because now I'm just like, well, which is my favorite electric type between these, Luxray or Electivire? I think this is a good spot for it. Magmortar is one that I still hold fast that it is way worse than Magmar. I just think it looks dumb. I don't really like the fire across its body. I don't really like its face. It is a good Pokemon, but I just don't really like it that much. So much that I think this is going to be a new top of D tier. It's pretty close to being like, I absolutely hate this thing. It's not quite there, but I definitely would lean more negative than positive. Togekiss? Togekiss is a good thing that it exists. Togepi and Togetic are pretty bad, so this was a very necessary evolution. And I like it. I think it's going to go in A tier. And I think we're going to put it sort of in the bottom of A tier range. I think it works. It's very simple. Just like a flying blob, but it doesn't need to be complicated. It's cool. And, you know, fairy typing really helped that as well. Then we get to Yanmega. You want to talk about evolutions that were needed. Oh my gosh, Yanma is just a nothing Pokemon. Yanmega is really, really good. It is better than Infernape. I like it more than Electivire. I think right around here. Yanmega is incredible. I don't know. I feel like dragonflies are inherently kind of cool, even if they're a little scary in real life. I don't know. I just don't like loud noises in my face. That's basically the full extent of that. But it's very, very simple, but it looks cool. I mean, especially like that's right there, where it just looks so like mean and menacing, and like the red and green. It's just a really cool color combination. I think I've already said before that evolutions are just like by default A tier. So let's just, you know, put these up here, and then we'll worry about the ordering of them. I kind of go back and forth as to like the ordering of evolutions. Right now, I think I would say that I like Glaceon more than Leafeon. I probably would say, if I was thinking about ice types, I think I would put Glaceon above Abomasnow. So I think Glaceon goes there, and I think Leafeon probably just goes right next to it. Yeah, I think that looks right to me. Gliscor took some time to grow on me, but definitely helped that I used it a lot in competitive. It used to be incredible. I don't know if it still is. I don't keep up with competitive. I don't think it's S tier though, but I do think it's A tier at this point. Probably fallen out of favor a little bit. I probably used to put it in S tier, but I think now I would put it before or after the evolutions. I'll go before, but like right around there. I think that's a good spot for it. Mamoswine is good. I've never been on the Mamoswine hype train to the same extent that other people are. I think I'm gonna actually put it in B tier right below Mismagius. I think I like Mismagius more. Piloswine is a Pokemon that I always loved as a kid, and it kind of, you know, was hard to adjust to Mamoswine existing, but it has grown on me over time, and I do like it. I don't know what more I want out of it, but I just feel like it doesn't have the full package for me. But it is a very, very good Pokemon. Porygon Z is very cool. Porygon in general is pretty sick. I think Porygon Z is kind of ending up like lower A tier. I do think it's very cool. I'm not saying that I like Gabite more than Porygon Z. Yeah, it'll go there. Gallade is kind of on the verge of S tier. I think Gallade's going right below Roserade, kind of right there. I love the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Disc. It's fantastic. Or I guess that's more Mega Gallade, but in this pose you can kind of see it as well. Mega Gallade is when it really goes full into that. But yeah, I mean, there's not much that needs to be said. Psychic fighting, more again fighting types mixed with things makes them more interesting. So it is what it is. Probopass kind of sucks. I don't really like it. I probably used to hate it more than I do now. But I would still probably put it like here. It doesn't need to exist. We don't need the nose Pokemon at all. We definitely didn't need an evolution to that. So yeah, Dusknoir looks sick. I love Dusknoir. I think I like it more than Spiritomb. I don't think I'm ready to put it in S tier, but it's pretty close. Speaking of cool ghost types, we have quite a few back-to-back. Frostlass is another one that's going to A tier. I don't think as high, but I do think I would say that I like it more than Abomasnow. Again, I'm just thinking about ice types next to each other. I do like it more than Glaceon. I think that's a good spot for it. I think Frostlass is really cool. I like its design and the way it floats. Ghosts are, you know, cool. Yada yada yada. This one doesn't actually have the different Rotom forms. Oh, I didn't even think about that. It just has Rotom. So I'll just like say my thoughts on the different Rotom forms. I think Rotom, as a concept, is pretty cool. I think Rotom's a little bit overplayed now with like the Rotom phone and all that, and you know, all that sort of stuff. I think it was way cooler when it was just sort of this like mystery thing that's just, you know, mixes with different appliances and whatnot. So I think normal Rotom is here. Let's see. Rotom, I think actually all of them might go in similar tier. I know I'm not going to bother about ordering where they would go, but I do think Rotom Wash and Rotom Heat would definitely be in A tier. Rotom Frost would probably be in B tier. Rotom Fan would also be in A tier. I really just like the design of that one for some reason. And it's pretty funny that you have a flying Pokemon with Levitate. Pretty sure that's how it was. And then am I missing one? Heat, Frost, Mow, Fan, and then the normal one. Alright, if I'm missing a Rotom form, let me know, and I'll tell you where it goes. But it's probably going to be an A or B tier, because that's just sort of how I feel about Rotom. Alright, now I have to try and order these 3? Okay. I don't have strong feelings about them, I don't think. I don't know, I've always kind of liked Uxie, though. I'm debating between A and B. I think Uxie's going to go bottom of A. I'll let Mesprit go top of B, like below Mamoswine. I think Azelf is actually my favorite, though, probably just because it has like the highest attack, but it's also blue, and it just looks more serious, maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna put it like right there. Like, they're not, in the grand scheme of things, they're not all that far apart from each other. But I think if I had to choose my favorite, I would probably say Azelf, and I'd probably put Mesprit as my least favorite, though they're all still very good. Dialga is definitely an A tier. It looks very, very cool. I love the blue. Love the, you know, diamond crystal things coming off of it. Very, very sick. I'm just kind of looking at how high up I want it to go. I think it goes above Rhyperior. I think I'd put it above Gliscor, actually. I think somewhere around this area is fine. I'm not going to sit here and think too hard about it. Palkia is a Pokemon that I do not like. A long time ago, I made a video of my top 10 least favorite Pokemon. Palkia was on that list. It would... I don't know if it would still be on that list, but I do think it's my least favorite Pokemon of this generation. I just think it looks kind of dumb with its, like, little head neck thing. I just really don't like it. The color scheme is, like, it's like a purple and white or purple and pink and whatnot. It's just not my favorite. And, yeah, I don't know. Palkia's just never really done it for me. I've always thought it looked kind of ugly. Just didn't do anything. Heatran's probably just like a B tier. Like, I like Heatran. I don't think it's incredible in any way. It just is what it is. Regigigas, I kind of liked the Regi trio in Gen 3, and I didn't really feel like it needed to be expanded on, which they've done even more since then. So I've always kind of had something against Regigigas, and it also has like a terrible ability, so it's never felt super usable. I'm just going to put it in C tier. It doesn't have a bad design, but I just find it hard to use. And there. I'll just put it next to the normal fish and the, you know, four-armed monkey or whatever. I mean, I don't have strong feelings between the different Giratina forms, so I'm just going to throw both of them next to each other in the S tier. Maybe like right around here. It's not like my absolute favorite, but like ghosts are cool, dragons are cool. Ghost dragons are very cool. As seen here, here's my evidence. I submit that to the court. Please accept that as my evidence as to why ghost dragons are cool. I don't think there's much to be said. Giratina, the like Pokemon devil or whatever. It's pretty sick. Black, red, yellow, like silver. That the color things on it work so well. There's just no downsides there. It's fantastic. Cresselia. I feel like I used to not like Cresselia that much. And I still am almost close to putting it in C tier, but I think I like it enough to put it in B tier. I probably like it more than Heatran at this point. I probably even like it probably right around here, right around Bronzong level. I think it's pretty cool. It's got the little moon thing. It's sort of like a floating duck. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Fione just doesn't need to exist. I'm just gonna put it at the almost bottom of C tier because it just doesn't really need to exist. Manaphy is neat. I think Manaphy just kind of goes to the bottom of A tier. I like Manaphy. I think it was better when I was more involved in the competitive community, because I remember, if you got it set up right, that it was like an incredible Pokemon. But just as a standalone, like just water being that's just there, I don't have strong feelings towards it, but I do like it, and I still hold over some memories from Manaphy just being a very good Pokemon. Darkrai, if you know, I mean, if you can sort of tell by what my S tier is starting to look like, you can see that Darkrai fits right in. Darkrai, I mean, it just looks so cool. The black and red, it's incredible. I think Darkrai goes above Staraptor, and I don't know if I'm ready to put it above Luxray. It's definitely up there, but, and that's basically just looks. I don't even know if I've ever used a Darkrai like in my life. It just looks so cool. And that's all there is to it. We have Shaman. I think Shaman, I have strong preferences. I do think I like Shaman Sky a little bit more. They're both going to go in the A tier, and I think they're going to go a little bit higher. I think Shaman Sky... Actually, I think Shaman Sky is going, like, way up there. And normal Shaman... Again, I remember using Shaman in, like, Pokemon Draft Leagues and stuff, and I remember getting decent enough success out of it, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm just making that up. Did I ever even have it? Who knows? I think Shaman's pretty cool. I would put it like right here. Yeah, I like Shaman Sky a little bit more, but they're not that far apart in the grand scheme of things. And then the final one is Arceus. I generally say Arceus. I guess it looks cool, but it's not as cool as a really cool hat. So we're gonna put it right there. And that is my Gen 4 list. And now seeing it sort of laid out, I can sort of understand why I've always thought the way that I have. There are plenty of S-tier Pokemon, a lot of A-tier Pokemon, so that's like a good thing. But I think there's just a lot more D-tier than in other generations. I think there might have been one other that had plenty of D-tier, but like this is, I mean, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different Pokemon. Because I'm not gonna say like, oh, it's 2 whole rows. I think if I only put one of each, I think it would only take up 1 row. But for a game that's so like cherished and, you know, nostalgic to so many people, when I think of like all these Pokemon, I'm just like, man, Gen 4 doesn't hold up for me as much, and this is why. And especially a lot of these higher tier Pokemon are also ones that are like impossible to use in game. So that's generally where some of my sentiment gets reflected in. But when you look at the actual roster of Pokemon that are available, if you're just looking at designs or you're building like a competitive team with like no restrictions on how to get them, then Gen 4 definitely has a good roster of Pokemon. But if you're trying to build in-game teams, it is a lot harder and more restrictive because a lot of the best Pokemon are very hard to get, and a lot of the trash ones are very easy to get. So that is all of my opinions on the Pokemon at Gen 4. We kept this to less than an hour. Go me. Within the next couple weeks, I should be getting the Gen 3 list out, so that should be fun and exciting. Ruby and Sapphire are very near and dear to my heart in terms of nostalgia. I do think that we'll see. I'll have to see that in front of my face. I feel like that's another one that I think there isn't as much top tier Pokemon as some would lead you to believe. But I might be wrong about that. I feel less confident saying that than I did saying this, which I was even kind of wrong about what I said about this. But yeah, that's where I put everything. Let me know what some of your opinions are, some of your favorites, some of your least favorites, some of the egregious mistakes that I have made for having an opinion. Let me know all those things down in the comment section below, and I will see y'all around for the next one. So, until the next time, y'all, out.